Starting off this video here, we're going to do some plumbing work and going to make some custom pipes. So here I am actually just dissecting some spare push fit adapters that I have, and I need to basically make a T-joint so that I can connect a straight pipe that goes from somewhere in the kitchen to the outside, and I need to connect it to my toilet so that it has a ventilation point that goes outside the home. As I mentioned in a previous video, I believe that I mentioned that the toilet's vent was previously going out into the middle of the room, so it didn't get ventilated outside of the home. But I do have a spare pipe that's going to outside, so this is what I'm making now. And yeah, I couldn't actually solder the pieces together. I couldn't get them to melt and join, so instead I used a lot of super glue, which worked very well, and I used an accelerator. But now I'm just using a heat gun just to make them push fit into each other, just so I could extend the pipe. So this bit was a bit tricky to figure out what to do with the ventilation of the toilet. So originally, as I mentioned, it went from here to the corner to there, and it was a huge pipe, like that thick, and it was really unnecessary, literally the size of that. So what I previously did, like 15 years ago, I put in just a vent, as I mentioned before, just going up into the air in the toilet, which wasn't exactly good, but I dealt with it. Anyway, what I'm going to do this time is I've got a little pipe. You see the white pipe there? That goes outside, and it's a vent. I'm not sure what that vent is for, but I just had a look outside, and it's basically a 22 mil. So I made this little extension. I didn't have any tee-offs, that 22 mil, and that push fit, because it's going to be really awkward to work in there. So I'm going to see if I can actually do that. So all I really need to do is just slice that pipe in half with an angle grinder, and then hopefully shove this on. And I measured it, so we've got an extended one. So let's see if we can fit that on. So let's have a look. Goes there to that white pipe. So I'm going to have to very carefully cut it. I'm going to have to be, I think I'm going to go upside down. So let's see how I'll do this. And what I'll do is now I'll rotate it. I know I could rotate it from outside. I'm not sure if I can rotate it from here. There we go, rotating. That's good, perfect. Okay, well that was a success. Let's see if I can actually join it. This is extremely awkward. But doable, I think. Saves me drilling another hole in the concrete. Oh, you see, this one's moving, which is good. Because if it wasn't moving, then it would have been very difficult for me to connect it. So you've got to be very careful here, because that pipe underneath, the copper one, has got water inside it, and I do not want to burst that. So I would rather rotate it to make sure that I cut the actual plastic and not just overshoot into the copper pipe. That would have been a nightmare. But yeah, rather loose fitting here, but I will push it nice and tight. See that pipe? Got to push that in and then cut it off slightly, because it's a bit long at the moment. Yeah, so that alone is just hammering it in. So that went in like quite a lot, like 10 centimeters I'd say. So I'm very happy with that. So that must have made it a bit tighter, I think. So I think I'm just going to cut it off by maybe just like 2 centimeters, just make it a bit shorter, and I'm going to angle it like that so that the rain doesn't get in. So you can see that went in very deep, and I managed to push it a lot, so now I need to get it up against the wall. So quite a bit of back and forth here because I wasn't happy with initial bend, so it was rather sharp of a bend, so I then rebended it until it was in a good position. But yeah, mad speed forward. Okay, so I think I got a very good shape actually, so yeah. Now if I could just connect this to the wall, that'd be amazing. Okay, I think I'm done for the day. I'm gonna reconnect the toilet so I could use it and I could have a bath. But obviously it won't be secured, it won't be finished. I just wanna use it a little bit at least. Yeah, bent that with the heat gun. Very good. Right, now let's get into some plumbing. So let's clear up the old pipes. So I removed them. I'm gonna clean them up, remove all the sellotape because I joined them previously with sellotape. Yes, I had a Hoover pipe and lots of sellotape, hot glue, loads of really bad stuff, and this part is a bit disgusting. So I use loads of different chemicals: bleach, boiling water, isopropyl alcohol, washing up liquid and stuff. But I mean, I had to clean it one way or another because I didn't want to use sealants without cleaning it first, of course. But now let's reattach the sink in the bathroom. So I'm just moving it a bit closer to the wall, and after the pipes have been cleaned, I'm covering up that brown pipe with some white as well. And I also have to make a little adapter. So the pipe was slightly thicker, the adapter for the pipe was slightly thicker, so I had to super glue another pipe on top of a pipe to make sure that it fits correctly. But you can see that brownish or grayish pipe, I'm covering it with white on top of the grey, just to make it a bit more whiter and more consistent with the colors. That grey area, you won't really see it that much because it's underneath the sink anyway. But yeah, making sure there's no spillages or leaks. But now let's get into the dirty stuff. So yeah, you see me clean the previous pipe, the huge one. But now I have to make the adapters for the sink. So I'm making sure I get a perfect fit, and I also making sure that I can remove it if I need to. So I don't want it to be a permanent connection. In case of an emergency, I need to be able to disconnect it. So I got a 90-degree push fit pipe there that is screwable and tightenable with a rubber O-ring. But let's find the perfect position for it. Trim it down a little bit. And now I can actually adjust the huge sewage pipe. So now I just need to cover up the old previous hole that was there. And I'm doing it with some donor pieces from previous pipe. So I just cut one segment off, and I'm using a heat gun just to loosen it up and just try to get the same curvature. And I used a soldering iron just to see if I can weld the two pieces together, but it was proving to be a little bit tricky. So after all this soldering, I also used a bunch of super glue with an accelerant, and followed by sanding. I actually didn't include the sanding process, but I did do a lot of sanding as well. Repeated with the super glue and the accelerator, and then I also painted it a little bit where the cover-up happened, where I did a cover-up. But rushing through all these bits because this wasn't very pleasant, but at least you get the before and after and some of the mid-process as well. So it looks much nicer. It actually looks white. And that is the ventilation pipe that you saw me doing at the beginning of the video. Now that doesn't need to be totally tight, airtight. No, it is airtight, I would say, but it's not. I'm not using any sealant like Fernox or anything like that. So that is just going to attach to the pipe that you saw me do at the beginning of the video. But yeah, that is just. I think that is a spare hose that was used for washing machines, because I just collect some spare hoses sometimes because I need them for emergencies. And now to connecting to the bathtub itself. Here I do end up using some Fernox sealant just to make sure that there's going to be zero leaks. And now back to the nasty toilet that we're just going to clean up a little bit. Not a little bit, I'm going to actually clean it up quite a lot, because I want to use the sealant here as well, the Fernox. So I want that clean. A bit of a test fit here. And I just had it positioned like that overnight. So this is now a next day, and I'm just getting rid of any excess water that was in there. And now making the holes for the final positioning of the toilet, before I get into the dirty stuff, which will be in the next video of me doing all the silicone. And here I'm actually fitting a TPU printed quite a large washer. Would you say it's a washer? It's just a gap fill. I'm gonna fill in the gap with some more silicone. But let's just get the pilot holes, not the pilot holes, for the toilet. And guys, I'll see you in the next video. This video is getting a bit long.